Okay, so good morning, students. Glad you're here. My name's Ken. I own the place, so I'm the second generation owner. Waters. Ken Lane owns Waters Garden Center, but I married a Waters. So Harold Waters had 4 daughters, all of them very attractive. But I took a fancy to the youngest, prettiest one 38 years ago. And so Lisa Waters, thank you very much. Lisa Waters and I took it over back in 1992. I was doing corporate stuff and I just got tired of moving. Corporate always, it's kind of like the military. You're moving every 2-3 years to the next corporate office. And I went, God, I miss my little town and the aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents' influence on my kids. So we moved back to Prescott, Arizona. And I've been happy ever since. Slower pace. How many, this is your very first garden season here in Prescott, Arizona? 1, only 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, gotcha. That's good. Welcome. So we're famous for our Indian summers. Don't ask me why they call it that. Indigenous people summers. I don't know, whatever you call that. It will get cold, then it'll get nice like this. It'll be like this from now through October. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And then it turns on us and it gets cold. But then the days are always kind of bright and sunny. So this is an actual really good time to plant because the soils are so warm. And hopefully you've seen some rain where they're kind of moist. So mine seem to be, my plants are growing actively right now. You can notice, man, that rain came and they just went, okay, poof, they start taking off. Well, what's happening when they're taking off underneath the ground, they're taking off too. And I'll just give you this advice because September is that tomorrow? When is September? It's like fall is right around the corner. Monday, thank you. And so fall is a kind of a secret gardener's insider tip. So what happens when plants are turning their fall color? When that happens, they're taking all that carbohydrates, they're taking all that energy and they're storing it in the root structure. Take advantage of that. Your fall fertilizing is the most important food of the entire year because it's taking that food and setting the stage for spring growth. So you got this opportunity to really turn things around. So I'm just giving you permission. A lot of folks are from Phoenix. Welcome to God's country. California. I know. Welcome to God's country. Now that you're in, you can shut the door behind you. Just kind of keep everyone else from coming. That's kind of that's the mindset. Get over it. There's more coming. So it's God's country. There's some insider tips on this, and now I'm giving you permission to garden. It's okay. You're seeing, in fact, a whole transition over to fall plants. So the first mum crop came in. That's kind of the sign of fall's here. Mums. Pumpkins will be in the grocery stores. Like if they're not already there, they'll be there this week. It's coming around. So it's the fall. I think of fall as the decorating season in the gardens. So I'm starting to pull out my ugly, they're tired, heat-stressed plants. Petunias are long and leggy and yellow. Whew, come on, you're bringing me down. Pulling those things out and putting mums, snapdragons, pansies, the fall through winter blooming plants. We get a winter, but it's very mild. So if I can keep those pansies blooming right through winter, that's an eye-opener for you folks from the Midwest. So you're seeing this transition stuff happening. Today's garden class is on pollinators. And I would say I'll flirt over a little bit with migration. So birds are migrating, not yet, but they will be shortly. And we are on the migratory path. Prescott, Arizona is the city of 5 lakes. That is a draw for birds, monarchs, people. It's a draw. And so they're going to use this as a stopover point before they start heading further south. Hummingbirds, they're still around and active. Actually, hummingbirds will stay with you. Really, they're going nuts right now. Yeah, including the babies. They're all launched. See little tiny guys going around. They're buzzing around. So if you simply keep those feeders up, they'll use it as a stopping station, and you'll see some personality change. So some of the originals they go, I'm out of here. Boom, they start doing a Phoenix or wherever they go, Yuma. You hear they travel down to like Brazil. Why? They're just going to Phoenix just like people do. They're going to where it's warmer. So they're making that migration, but some of the ones up north, they're going to stop and you'll see them rest for a week or two before they take off again. So don't pull those feeders down too soon because you're helping them migrate, especially the old guys, old gals, and the youngsters. They're just too stupid. They don't know what to do. And so while they're waiting to figure it out, going south some further, they're using your feeder as a stopping point. And some of you, it's rare, but some of you might even have hummingbirds stay right through the winter. They're really tired, they're really old, or they're really, really young. They just don't know any different. They stick around, and some of them, they'll use you as a stopping point. These plants are for butterflies, hummingbirds, bumblebees are back. They were struggling for so many years, and they are back in force. At least the wild populations are really strong. But honeybees are a little soft, but the bumblebees came back, and they're using your plants as a kind of juicing things up. They're like lumbering giants. Have you ever watched one? I don't know how they fly. They shouldn't. Physics don't make sense, but they're beautiful. You will see, I've seen quite a few black bumblebees. There's the classic red and black, but there's one that's solid black. That's called a cutter bee. Looks like a bumblebee with all black. And they're the ones taking out that perfect little circle out of your rose bush, out of the leaves. They take this perfect, like dime-sized leaf, cut out of the leaf, and that's what's doing that. So they don't kill the plant. They're just busy building nests and making, I think they do some things for their larva stage things. I've said a little bit, but don't worry. A little bit of damage to your foliage it helps them. So I've seen a noticeable increase in the number of the pollinators in your yard. So bees, butterflies, hummingbirds, moths are famous for that. We are seeing some gigantic caterpillars on the tomatoes. So you'll see one that's like 3, 4, 5, like it wants to suck onto your jugular vein and like suck the life force out of you. It's that big. It's huge. Looks like an alien life form. Tomato worm, tomato horned worm, that's out. Watch your tomatoes. They can start stripping foliage like overnight. Like, where did it go? And the adult stage of that is probably one of the #1 pollinators in the yard. It's sphinx moth or hummingbird moth. You'd swear it's a hummingbird. Oh, hummingbird. It's got a long proboscis, real long tongue kind of thing that goes into the flowers. But she lays her eggs on your tomatoes and strips them clean. Hey, we see you guys online. Will you take a moment? Just say like, subscribe, do all that. Make a comment. Where are you guys from? Where are you tuned in at? We want to know, because it also drives the Google machine crazy when you kind of comment. Anyway, this will also be live for you. Right after this is over, it'll upload to YouTube. I think it's streaming live on Facebook and LinkedIn, but if you want to go back and check your notes, that's where you do it from. Before that, I have 2 handouts. One, I wrote a garden column on pollinators. You'll have the list in your inbox by the time this afternoon sometime. And I thought it apropos for this class, the fragrant flower list. Some of them are pollinators, some of them aren't, but they're all fragrant and beautiful. I figured you students would like that. And then, just for giggles, I get bored, and I'm an artist, so I kind of like doing artistry stuff. So there's all this Cracker Barrel stuff going around right now. You're reading it in the newspaper. They changed their logo. They interviewed the original owner, and he said they should have never done that, and it's going. It's all just a marketing stint, I'm sure. I went, what would Waters Garden Center's logo look like if it was Cracker Barrel style? And so I made a Cracker Barrel's logo. It went viral. It's on our Facebook page. I want you to see it if you've not already seen it. It's kind of make a comment, like, add to. It's got like hundreds of comments and touch points just for fun. I'm not really going to change the logo of Waters Garden Center. It's just for fun. I'll send that to you just because you're fans, obviously. And then we tried something new. We're playing with AI models. And so I built a computer Ken and he reads the summary of the garden column to you with great background photos. It's all just computers. They're amazing. But they can take the garden column and change it and read it to you in 2 minutes or less. And it's pretty neat. Now, it looks like me, I'm stiff, but I'm blinking, my mouth's moving. It's all computer generated, but it's kind of fun. I think you might like it, or you might hate it. Tell me that you hate it. That's good. I'll send those 4 things to you this afternoon. Maybe. It depends how busy, or maybe tomorrow. We'll see. If you want that, put your email down, because that's the only way you're going to get it. It's you folks tuned in. The links are in the comment section. So download those. And again, make a comment. Say something. Where are you from? We want to know. Okay. Pollinators. This is for in containers. In the ground, doesn't matter. Most of them are perennial. That is, they'll come back year after year. Very few, there's a couple evergreens, but mostly pollinators are deciduous. That is, they'll lose their leaves through the winter. Some are herbaceous perennials. That is, they'll hold their some of them will hide underground and then come back fresh from the roots, and some will come back from their stems. There's 2 types of perennials, but they both kind of hibernate. They need to rest in order to form those flowers that the pollinators are attracted to. I thought I'd start down here with some of the shrubs, and the number 1 pollinator by far, it's got to be butterfly bush. So that's this one right here. I brought a white one. The most popular is purple, but I get bored. I've sold thousands of these, and I kind of want to show the pinks, the whites, the different colors. So this comes in, they'll get up easily about as high as you and I. Some of them, your grandparents, like the dark night buddleia or dark night butterfly bush, it's a giant. We're trying to introduce more dwarf varieties so they're less maintenance. So this one gets up about chest high, ball shaped, but it does this from May through October. Amazingly long bloom cycle. I do find that it helps if you deadhead it everyone. So when this fades, I'll pinch this off. You already see 2 new flower buds coming out. So if you deadhead this, it doesn't necessarily make it bloom more, but it makes it prettier. I don't know. It didn't have a bunch of spent flowers on it. So I go through every couple of weeks. Or if I'm having a garden party, I'll deadhead it real quick so it looks good, and I'll fertilize it so it blooms out more. But butterflies, from swallowtails to monarchs to painted ladies, little tiny orangey ones, to moths to bees, everything loves butterfly bush. It is deciduous. It's going to lose its leaves, but it's one of the few plants that blooms nonstop right through from spring through summer, and it loves, loves, loves sun. So brighter the sun, the more the flowers. I'd say at least 6 hours of sun for this plant or more. Otherwise, it starts to get leggy, it starts to reach and then flops over. It's not so pretty. It'll bloom, but it's blooming on the ground. Nice and perky in the sun. So yes.
Curious, these are very popular in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Some of them are very mature.
Yeah.
And there seems to be some discussion on when and how to
that's good. Okay.
turn them back.
Yeah. So his question is, he's in a neighborhood with mature butterfly bush. It's a very popular plant, been around for a long time. The question in the neighborhood sounds like a great cocktail party conversation. Is when do you prune them back and how hard and what's the lifespan? So this one loves to be cut. The more you cut it, the more beautiful she feels. She just wants to have a haircut and be beautified. And so this one goes right back. And then short lifespan. They don't live. This is not going to outlive you. This will probably not outlive your dog. This is probably 5 to 7 years, and it needs to be replaced because it starts to get this mangy, dead wood in the middle. It just needs to be redone every once in a while. So don't be afraid to replace this one. I know it's a living, breathing thing, and you gardeners need help. I'm giving you permission. If it's ugly, it's probably time to replace it. So yes. Oh, when do you prune? I should have. You prune in March. Yeah, prune in March. There you go. after the new year, enjoy the holidays. The last of the eggnog's long gone. It's maybe Valentine's starting to show up. You're feeling kind of romantic. That's a time for pruning back your summer blooming plants. So that would be roses and butterfly bush and roses Sharon, crepe myrtles and smoke bush. Pretty much all of these things are showing up right now. Okay. Let's go to the next one, or I could get bogged down and not make it even close to the end. Yeah. Water requirements. This is very low water use. Very. I would say treat it like your trees. So once it's rooted, so get it rooted, maybe a couple times a week, brand new plants. Like I said, it's good to plant right now, but the roots are just confined to this. We need to get the roots out so it's more robust. That takes at least through next spring to pull that off. So you're probably going to water this a couple times a week right now. Once it's established, this time next year, once a week. Okay, so that should be enough. If you're planting now, the big rookie mistake I find is folks will plant, and they're thinking like they're Midwesterners probably do this. I plant, the ground now freezes like a solid ice cube. We don't live in Wisconsin. We don't get a frost line. It gets very mild here. And so they don't water it. They turn that system off. They don't water from now until next April. Plants can't go all winter with no water. You're going to need to help them. So in November, typically in November, we'll start watering twice a month. Just take the edge off, twice a month. We're way far out for that, but I'm just letting you know, if you're planting now, I'm encouraging you to plant now. Just make sure you're watering through the winter and you will have great success. So that's the insider tip. Okay. This is Tacoma. It grows from Phoenix all the way up to here. It's a zone 8 plant, but it does this summer. This blooms when crepe myrtles and roses Sharons, your smoke bush, all those summer blooming plants. This blooms like this, gets up about this tall, kind of nice and bushy, and it just screams, hummingbirds, come and feed all summer. So they're going to be attracted to your yard if you've got this. Same with butterflies. Same with that little sphinx moth, the one that lays the green eggs, the caterpillars on your tomato. If you see caterpillars on your tomatoes, the easiest is brutal. You mantle like this. Take your scissors or pruner, just cut them in two. It's easy. Women, it's brutal. I mean, it's like guts are everywhere. He's spitting at you. There's a spray I have. It's all organic. You can spritz it on the plant. They'll come out and eat, and they just get a stomach ache, and they don't eat anymore. They die of starvation. It's a slow, painful death. It's very good satisfying from a gardener standpoint. But sometimes just scissors, click. If you can find them, sometimes you can't see them. Like they disappear. They look like a tomato stem. Yeah. Yeah. They do. Yeah. That's right. Good. I love pollinators. This is awesome. So, okay, her question was, where do they come from? What the heck? And why all of a sudden? And then how do I save them? So that sphinx moth, the hummingbird moth, she lays eggs in your tomatoes. She knows her young are going to have to feed somewhere. They cacophonize or cocoonize, whatever that thing is, in the ground. So they don't hang from the stem of your house or like underground. You just spot them every once. So they come up from, I don't know where. Yeah, they're like cicadas. Yeah, the real noisy ones singing right now. They're kind of like that. And so I don't really, there's so many of them. I don't try to save them so much, but I don't know how to actually take them and store them and watch them come to life as a moth. But I would love to know someone that did that because that'd be cool. I know how to do it with monarchs. I don't know with, I've never known anyone that wanted to do that. So I'm proud of you. That's cool. That's right. Yeah. I'll research that. Maybe that might be a good garden article. That could be actually kind of fun to pull off. But right now, don't let them strip your tomato plant. They will be ferocious, and tomatoes are producing like crazy right now. Got more than I know what to do with. I already brought 2 grocery sacks to the garden center, and peppers are going nuts. Okay. These 2 are our companion plants. Full sun, blistering hot, surround them with asphalt, and then take a blow dryer to them. They love heat, sun, blister, altitude. They like crusty soils. This is a Texas sage. This is its second bloom coming around. It's bloomed already in spring. Now it's blooming again. So it's a great pollinator for that. And it blooms about the same time frame. This is, what's that? Oh, where is he? Praying mantis. Oh, look at that. Cool. He's got a praying mantis. It's also praying mantis season. Come here, little guy. Come here. I know you're scared. See him right there? Cool. Yeah, they're praying mantis. Anyway, these guys are, come here, little guy. There we go.
On your hand.
Oh, we'll just leave him right there. He's doing good. Praying mantis are really good for the gardens. I brought this one. This is chaste tree, C-H-A-S-T-E, so chaste tree or vitex. Normally you're seeing it in purple. I brought this one because I'm dealing with gardeners. You guys like pollinators. That says something about you. Gets the pink flowers instead of purple. So it's unusual. You're only going to find this at Waters Garden Center. Literally. It's called Bisbee, or what's this called? Queen bee chaste tree. And so hummingbirds, butterflies really like this plant. It's kind of one of their favorites. It's pretty tall. So you'll just have all these butterflies at the top of and hummingbirds at the top of this tree. Super drought hardy. I mean, it's in the drought hardy family. Like if you're going to kill this from overwatering, treat it like your trees, not like your flowers. And it will bloom nonstop from June through fall for you. And then it gets this beautiful fall color, aspen gold color. And it's just this nice form, vase-shaped form to it. Good drought hardy plant. Animals don't eat this, like deer and rabbits. They leave it alone. So we put it out in the neighborhoods where your neighbors are feeding the deer population. That one they're not going to bother. Probably not going to bother. Okay. Let's go with this one. Probably the #1 seller for commercial properties. If you need something that consumers, like your customers out in front of a hotel or a bank or fast food, they can't kill this. This is Potentilla or Potentella. Gets about knee high, kind of perfectly ball shaped, starts blooming in May, and it non-stops bloom right through the fall. Then it keeps its form and then stops blooming, doesn't even have foliage. In fact, you won't even see it. It just kind of disappears in the landscape. And then it just comes back. The reason this is so popular is it's just tough. You can't, once it's rooted, you can't kill it. Animals don't bother it. Rabbits don't eat it. Pack rats don't, nothing gets on this. It's just bulletproof. And what I'll do is in the winter, I'll shape it with my hedgers and get it back to like a nice ball shape, usually in March, February, March, sometime in there. And then I just fertilize it, starts to leaf out in April, and then it starts to bloom in May, and it just does it all over again. But yellow, I brought it because yellows and blues, yellow and blue pollinators like more than other colors, more than pinks, more than, they just like yellows and blues. There's something about it. I don't know why, if it's a flavor thing or their eyes are set up for those colors, but they're attracted to this. Butterflies really like this one, noticeably. Potentilla. Anything tubular shaped. So honeysuckle for holding down hillsides. Right now we've got erosion problems happening. This one you can pin to the hillside. It just holds it in place, starts to spread and grow. So this plant will turn into this 8 by 8 by 8 gigantic plant. Or you can train it up a trellis or up a fence. You can train it up stuff too. So it'll climb or it will spread. Doesn't matter. The reason these are so popular, they take our alkalinity, our soil, like crummy soil, even you folks out in the valley areas. If you try to dig a hole out in like Granville or beyond, you need to invest in a jackhammer out there. It's tough going. But it will grow in that and thrive. And then again, animals don't eat it, full sun, and it does this tubular shaped flower. See that? tubular shaped flower, and it smells good. There you go, tubular shaped flower for a long, long time. Number one seller of honeysuckle is the Hall's honeysuckle. You grew up with it as a kid. It's kind of yellow with maybe a cream colored flower to it. It's bulletproof. It's tough, but this is prettier. Got a prettier flower to it. So, but it's not evergreen. The other one is. So it's like there's pros and cons to everything. And so this one's called Lemonade. No, Gold Flame Honeysuckle. Gold Flame. Anyway, honeysuckles. Hummingbirds will love that. Hummingbirds love that tubular shaped flower. The most popular, their number one seller for hummingbirds are trumpet vines. I didn't have any in bloom, so I didn't bring them to show off. But it's got that great big red flower to it. All over town right now. Very drought hardy. Hummingbirds nest in it. They would live there full time if they could. So it is deciduous, that is, it loses its leaves, but it's super drought hardy. Cut on it hard. All these vines, whack on it real hard, late winter, early spring, fertilize them, and they come back with even more flowers the next spring. Okay, a couple evergreens that you might not think about, but are probably top of my list for pollinators. Probably three. Where's my? Thought I had a rosemary here. Probably three of these, and the reason being, when they're migrating from south to north, there's not much going on in the landscape, and so they're really desperate for those early spring blooming plants. This is called sunset manzanita. It gets about this tall, kind of mounding shape. It's not the gigantic one that gets kind of mangy like this one. Nice, perfect form. But they're blooming with this beautiful bell-shaped flower in early spring that the bees, mainly the bees, really thrive. They're hibernating through winter. They come out really hungry and they're foraging for anything they can find. This is high on their list. First, it's got all that you want, and if you kill this, this is not a gardener's plant. If you're new to gardening and you tend to have black thumbs, this is for you. So if you ignore it, if you travel a lot, if you forget to water things, this is for you. This one does not like, it's very thrifty on its irrigation needs. So it doesn't want to sit in heavy clay soils and containers would be great. You don't think of rosemary. This is culinary rosemary, ARP rosemary. You don't think of this as pollinator, but it blooms in March, right before the fruit trees kind of start to bloom. It's starting. This is in full bloom, and so the bees are really using this as a very strong food source early spring, and then you'll start to bloom again. And then this one you would never guess. It's not written up very much, but I notice it's one of my strongest pollinators because it's also blooming very early. This is boxwood, but it does put a flower on the inside stems, but an insignificant flower, but definitely a flower. And the bees are all, so it's probably one of my strongest pollinators. And I found that out just having lots of plants in the garden center blooming, and all the bees are on this guy. So if you're into that pollinator thing, this is a strong one. And evergreen, it looks like this in the January. It looks like this in July or J months. Anyway. Container, I would say, so what size container? We know you're tuned in. We want you to be part. What size container do you need to keep these things growing for several years? So I have a lot of containers. My minimum size is kind of 18-inch or so, 14 to 18, somewhere in here, about that big. And the bigger it is, the better. The longer you have for that. And the bigger the plant. So I've got some euonymus that are gigantic. And they're in a pot that's like this. So it's been in there for years. I have a Nandina, or heavenly bamboo. Folks from California call it heavenly bamboo. The rest of the country calls it Nandina. So that one, I've got a very big one but it's because you're controlling that drainage. What I find is you need to fertilize them a little more often, and I'll cover that. I should cover that too. So, and then in the winter, it's counterintuitive. But if you hear the weatherman going, it's going to be a cold one. Oh my gosh, you know, your neighbors run to the grocery store. The shelves are empty. I don't know why. We're only going to be in the house for about 24 hours. We're back out it again, but we don't get snowed in. A hydrated plant goes to the cold much better than a dry plant. It keeps the antifreeze going up and down the stems of the structure of the plant, keeps that antifreeze going. If it's dry, it tends to we'll get what we call winter burn or winter kill. The tops. I fertilize. I'll use this a couple times a month. This is a water soluble package. Just did it a couple days ago. My 2 watering cans. I just a scoop. It's got a little scoop in there. 1 scoop per gallon. Do that a couple times a month. You will have fantastic flower power. So anyway, okay. All right, Agastache. Let's see, where am I at? How are we doing on time? We're doing good on time. So here's an annual here. This is an annual. This is called Penta. Penta, P-E-N-T-A. Pentas these are butterfly landing pads. Come in several colors. It's an annual. Most people don't know about these because they're a summer annual. They don't come, we don't have them in the spring. They're just green blobs in a bucket. They're too ugly. They like the heat. They will do this until the first hard freeze in like November. But butterflies cannot resist pentas. It's like their favorite thing. And they come in different colors. They don't smell. I don't know why butterflies like them so much, but they just like the form. They like this shape of flower. I guess I should include that one too. The top butterflies. Okay. This is an herb. This is cat mint. It's an evergreen. It's pretty much evergreen mound, kind of blue-green. Looks like Arizona colors. It blooms very early in spring. I cut it back. It starts to bloom again now. So when it's done blooming, just cut it back. I'll cut back just the flowers. I'll shear off the flower heads, fertilize it, comes right back into bloom again, just like that. I noticed bees and butterflies. This is one of their favorites for herbs. And then herbs, it's got a strong scent to it. Animals don't eat it. So rabbits, pack rats, antelope, they're not going to bother this. Same with all your herbs, your lavenders, rosemaries, catmint, they don't bother. But it's a very strong pollinator. This one is, again, this is a perennial flower. I like to plant it in place of Russian sage. There's a blue spiky kind of hip-high flower shrub that's growing right now. Russian sage is a pollinator. It's great. Bees are all over it. It's blue flower, but it's got a short life. It gets kind of mangy. It's hard to control. Wants a seed all over the yard. It's a high maintenance plant, but easy to grow. This one is not weedy. Comes in different colors than just blue, and pollinators love it. It comes in orange. Comes in blue too, but orange, yellow, kind of gold colors, reds. Comes in a lot of different colors, but Agastache gets up about knee-high, just think knee-high, vase-shaped, and it doesn't want to spread across the yard. So way easier to maintain. It's true perennial. It will rest underground through winter. It comes back fresh, and it will start to bloom like this, starting usually in June through the end of the year. But pollinators, they love this plant. And again, it's got that herbally scent to it, so the animals don't tend to bother it. So if you've got rabbit issues, this is your plant, okay? And then I had one other. This is probably the most famous of all of them. Milkweed. Yep. If you want monarchs, milkweed's it. So actually, if you want any butterfly, but monarchs get all the claim to fame. I don't know why, but all butterflies like milkweed. Blooms like this a long time. This is actually a perennial variety, comes back year after year. And then we've got a whole series of annual varieties. The prettiest ones are, this comes in one color, the perennial one, but then you get into reds and all kinds of colors by planting annual varieties as well. Okay, so monarchs. And what I understand is there's something inside the foliage that taints their inside, so birds and praying mantis don't want to eat the caterpillars. So it's strategic on why they're choosing this plant over others, because when the caterpillars come out and eat this, it makes them where they're not tolerable for predators, basically. So anyway, too much history, plants knowledge. Here we go. And then you folks in Phoenix, I mean, lantana, its butterflies are all over this thing. It is a true pollinator. The secret is put it in full sun. I mean, just right out there, put mirrors to reflect even more sun to it. Just it likes the sun. So from morning till dawn is sun. This is the secret, heat. So in the shade, it doesn't bloom. It just green blob. In the sun, it blooms. But a good, strong pollinator. Right. Give you a quick lesson here. I'll do this one and this. There's certain things in my head I'm trying to cover and how I kind of garden. I love I'm actually a bird gardener. I'm actually a flower gardener, and then I just naturally include butterflies and birds because they kind of go together. So, yep. Lantana, annual or perennial, it could be both. There are some, it's kind of like milkweed. It's milkweed. It's kind of like this. There's a variety that's perennial. It's orange. There's a variety of lantana that's perennial. It's orange. But the reds, the pinks, the lemonades, the other ones, those are annuals. And so they're going to die in the winter, unless you've got a friend in Phoenix. So I take my geraniums down to my mother's house, who lives in Mesa, and go, here, Mom, take these for me through winter. And then she comes back, and usually in April, and they're gigantic. So you can cheat that way. But you know what I want you to do? To buy a lantana every spring. I want you to buy another lantana. But there's both. And both are good. There's not one better. They don't like one flavor over the other. They just like lantana. So they're good. I brought these. This is Coreopsis. And then you've got Rudbeckia, Mexican hats, a whole series of perennial flowers that are like the bigger flowers of summer. They're not necessarily pollinators. I mean, butterflies can land on them a little bit, but I brought it for the bird piece. So this has been in bloom in my yard for a couple months. When it fades, I'll pinch off the flower and I'll deadhead or pinch the spent flowers so it will form a new flower. So it's always pushing new flowers. I'll do that through September. Then in October, I let them go to seed. So what happens is it's putting this on so butterflies and bees can pollinate it. So it can form seed heads. If you never let it form seed heads, it's going, oh my gosh, something just ate my flower. I should probably push a new flower up so that I want to repopulate. I want to push more seeds out. And so it's always thinking, oh, it's always trying to catch up with setting new flowers. I'll let it go to seed through October, and I leave them up in the gardens for my winter birds, whole series of birds that camp out here, and they use seed as a main food source. So I'll do that with my echinaceas, all my big blooming flowers. That's kind of a trick I use, and it really helps bring the birds in through the winter. It helps them out, kind of stuff. Not related to pollinators, but birding kind of goes with pollinating stuff. But that's a little insider tip. These are both full sun perennials. They both rest underground. You'll take your weed whacker, just whack them off as soon as you can, and fertilize them. They'll start coming back up in March typically. April, they're starting to really get some size, and by May, they're starting to bloom. By June, they're doing this. So June is kind of perennial month here locally. Plants that come back every year. Okay, that was that lesson. Yeah, if we had them in a pot, would they survive? Easily. Those things go down to like -20, some stupid cold we'll never see. The secret is They're resting, they're underground. So we saw a lot of death last year from trees. A lot of trees died last year. And here's my take on it. It was dry, but it was warmer than normal. So the plants never truly shut down. We can have dry, that's not that unusual, but have it warm and dry, and then the plants didn't have the moisture, so they didn't shut down truly. And so we had a lot of winter kills, a lot of trees in your neighborhood. You're seeing a lot of more than normal. It's been good for sales, but it hurts my soul to see that happening in the landscape. So you need to water things a couple times a month. Those folks that took care of their plants, so water and fertilize in the fall. So when you see your mums blooming, a bit early, when you see the aspens turning gold, fertilize right then. That'll help plants store up more energy in the roots, and then water a couple times a month, and you'll have plants that just ignite with new growth starting in the spring, especially folks with new landscapes. Now they're young or just immature landscape. They've been in for a couple of years, but they aren't up to size the way you want. Juice them, fertilize, take the edge off, and it'll just take off. Tremendous growth. Your neighbors will go by going, oh, how did you do that? Last August, he told me fertilize and water. It makes a difference. Okay, now where am I at? I wanted to go over, this stuff you fertilize with. Hey, thanks for bringing this up, Mackenzie. Yeah. All-purpose plant food. So this is an organic food, safe for pollinators. There's cottonseed meal, bird guano, some iron, sulfur. So it's a concoction we put together that really works for our soil up here. It's granular, so you put it on the ground, on top of the rock, top of the fabric. This is hard for you gardeners. Don't make work of it. Just put it on there, and the rains and the irrigation, as we get moisture, it will break down slowly over the next 3 months. That's the game changer for it. The way I use this in my containers, I just did, so I just did it all of the year, or in fall, basically. So I pinched back, shaped, groomed things, fertilized it with this, and then I hit it right afterwards with the flower. I know it's overkill, but this is the steak and potatoes, and this is the mimosa, or the Snickers bar. This is the snack that really juices quick. I use them both in kind of conjunction with each other, and it really brings out the flowers. I mean, it's like, no, whoa, that's pretty cool. That's how you do it. So food, you'll find you have to fertilize more often here than other parts of the country, just because we have no food in our soil. There's nothing. In fact, the little bit of topsoil that's there, the contractors scraped it all off to get rid of it and put your footers and your driveways down, and some of you are literally gardening in dead soil. You'll have to fertilize a little more often than you do in other parts of the country. It'll be noticeable, especially if you're dealing with blooming. Okay. All right. Now I've got time for a couple more questions, but before you do that, I wanted to brag on my daughter, Mackenzie. I wish you could see her. She's beautiful, but she's running the soundboard. But we got, I've got a great team that works for me on the Daily Courier, best garden center in the region. That's kind of cheating. So I'm also their garden writer. Thank you very much. Also the garden writer, but you all voted. It's like consumer. It's like the city votes for that. And so I'm truly bragging. Man of the Year Award, Man of Vision Award. Anyway, that's in Prescott Living Magazine. I don't know. It's kind of, I hate to talk about myself, but I'll talk about myself. We do some good work in the community, and I'll send you an invite. We're having a Grapes for Good event September 5th, and I'm a big Rotarian. I like service clubs, Lions, Kiwanis, Rotary. They do great stuff, and they're truly connected to the heart and soul of the community. So they see something that needs to be done, they go for it. Well, this Prescott Frontier Rotary is big into kids. They have their own math and reading clinic in the summer fund. You have by college help, and it's not you must be a nurse, first responder. No, it's just apply, and you can get this scholarship. It's $20,000 scholarship fund they could keep there all the time. And so we wanted to help fund that. They do so have a biggest garden party in the area. It's kind of fun. It's a hoot. So Sunday, 28th, after hours, there'll be live auction stuff, all the classic fundraising stuff, but it's fun. And then Barry Barb is a friend of mine. He owns a lot of different. He pairs hors d'oeuvres with the wines that are here. It's a wine snob club. But if you like wine, if you don't like wine, there's beer. If you don't like that, well, then there's water and just friendships or just good food. So, but come on down. Tickets are $80. They're at the register or online, whatever. If you want to come, it's kind of fun. Personally invite neighbors. Bring a student with you. Anyway, that's part of why we get this kind of stuff, because we're trying to get back ways. So anyway, okay, we're wrapping it up. Questions? Let's go online first. If you've got something, now's your chance. Otherwise, oh yeah, Abelia. 2 I missed, huh? 2 I missed. I apologize. This is Abelia. It's a shrub. Gets about hip high or so. Grows in the shade, grows in the sun. It's really versatile. So you find that hummingbirds really like to nest in it. They like to use it as a food source. It's a great plant. Evergreen, most years. Solid evergreen. So, and then this one I really like for succulents. They're both kind of the same. They're the same plants. This is a stone crop, sedum. I use autumn joy sedum. They're all in bloom right now. Some are super drought hardy, super sun loving, easy to grow. And I find 2 things. Butterflies like them, but real early on, my little finches, my little and it's a bird helper kind of thing. So I like birds. So birds are beautiful. We've counted over 80 species here at the Garden Center. Tremendous variety if you're into birds. We're trying to find we see a tremendous variety of birds coming to the area seasonally. What else? You doing okay? We learn anything? Comfortable? So mix and match. So yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. That's good. That's a good question. So we make our own soils. They're all organic. Okay, we've got our own recipes. That's kind of like I like the chemistry, the fertilizers, and the soils, because it's also it makes the most difference. Get the soil right, gardening's easy. Get the soil wrong, oh, it's painful. Potting soil is the most expensive soil mix, and the reason being, it's the most sophisticated recipe. It's the ones that's going to have the white perlites. We're trying to get, so this is made to grow directly in. You don't have to cut it. You don't have to blend it. You just put a pot in it, plant it. They're good. Not that one. Potting soil. That's potting soil. So it's our growers mix. We put in a bag. If you put this plant in more soil that it already knows, it's just going to thrive. Especially important for flowering things, vegetables, that kind of stuff. So if you've got a bunch of raised beds, big, gigantic raised beds, you're going to be tempted to go down to the rock yard and get their garden mix, which is basically silt they dug out of a stock tank. They added some free manure and some wood chips, and that's what they call garden soil. This top, at least that much of it, so you're gardening and potting soil, but the filler in that big raised bed is the garden mix. So you can blend, you can have a hybrid approach to things. So that's what potting soil is. Mulch. This is, we have terrible soil. And your contractor scraped off all the dirt. All the soil. So you're left with clay, White Mountains, old sawmill, screen it down, it's 1/4 inch minus, so that we can at least change the structure, add organics to that planting whole of trees and shrubs. Mainly this is going to be tree and shrubs. We're planting a new tree, a spruce tree, a fruit tree. We're planting new shrubs. We're using the rocks out of it. We're going to screen it a little bit, screen out anything bigger than a golf ball. We're going to add about 25% mulch to your native earth. That's what's going to attract the worms, going to attract the mycorrhizal, all the good stuff that's in the soil. That's what's going to activate the soil. And so this is made to plant trees and shrubs, and it probably just rot. Too heavy. This, it's made to stay moist. It's kind of a razor's edge. You're always testing the ingredients to get it where it stays moist, but it still breathes. It's like really tough in a dry climate. But we've found a solution that's way better. I'm confused. I'm a soil scientist. I'm making this stuff. You gotta be crazy. I can't even figure it out. Garden. I don't even know what they all mean. Potting soil is for pots, raised beds. Mulch is for in the ground. And we've got top soil. Some of you are up on the ridge lines. 20% sand, so it adds weight. It weighs a ton. It's made to not blow away. Right? You just need to fill up a hole. I ran into a big boulder. Need to raise up the soil, topsoil, and then manure. So there's only 4 products out there, and those are the 4. It's poop in a bag. But I ran into a situation. I used to be arrogant and young and better looking. And so I was selling manure against a big box. I could beat them at their own game. I got sources, bag my own. And it just rained. I'm loading this bag of cheap manure in the back of a Cadillac or Mercedes, some nice car. And it stunk to high heaven. I went, this is wrong in so many ways. So we went back and we created a stinkless, deodorized manure. I didn't care about cheap prices. I just don't want to stink up my customers' Escalade. That's just wrong. And so it's now we compost for an extra year, but it doesn't feel like poop in a bag. The cheap stuff, they just put a bag, at the bottom back of a cow and just collect it and then that.
Is there anything wrong with what comes right out the spear? Because that's what I scrape up out of
It's pretty good. What happens is fresh manure, you do want to compost it some because it's high in salts. And then if you've got cattle, it's a little bit different stuff. Typically it's horse, or it's your arena. They've got weed seeds and stuff, but if you compost it for a bit, it gets all that stuff done. Yeah, you use it, it's like free. I'm like, no, you paid for it, seriously. But you can reuse it. So yeah. that spring when you're doing that. And the general rule of thumb is 2 to 3 inch layer over the garden soil, tilled in the one shovel step. If you're into composting, you like to gather your own, so that's going to be just do the compost all that you got. And then top it off a 2 to 3 inch layer. Your gardens. That's how you use it. Yeah. Good questions. Deep garden questions, actually. That's awesome. So, Needy in the back. Go for it. I don't. I've got it'll pop up. Or talk to me offline and I can show you where it's at. But compost, I think it pops right up. It's a handout that you're going to get. So how long do you let compost or manures compost before you use it? Usually 6 to 9 months. You're leaving it for a while, a season. Then you'll use it. The other insider tip, because we are in horse country. I mean, the first thing you do when you get a horse, overwhelmed, been there. So the main thing, if you're getting manure, using manure, there's a gigantic grub that loves manures. It's warm. It's bigger than normal. What grubs do, they eat the roots of your plants. So they're kind of like they eat the roots of your pet soil, that composted manure, or whatever, and use it. And you spread the grubs in. So watch, if you see a white worm inside that pile. I've got a grub killer, so we can solve that. But why do that when you can just catch it early? I'd rather not do that if we can. So anyway, that's one mistake I've seen several folks make. Yeah. Good questions. So right now you're probably enjoying the gardens. You might even be getting tired of gardening. Like, get out of here. Some of my petunias are getting kind of tired. And if you look off in my gardens, it's dangerous for you. So it's probably I'm looking to clear up space so I can introduce my winter stuff. So you're seeing winter. Winter, when the mums start showing up. I have that. Oh, I broke it. Doggone it. That's okay. I'll glue it back together. So I'll glue it together. Thank you. I feel bad because you all feel so bad. Anyway, but thanks for voting for me. If you see this tag, they're on sale. Basically, the spring and summer stuff's got to go because we got winter stuff coming. We have the fall and winter stuff's en route. I mean, like 2 semis this week. And so just take it home. It's deeply discounted. Now's the time for rows. They're all at below cost. Now's the time for the last fruit trees. No, there's not a gigantic selection, but the ones we have are fantastic. It's time. And you get a great bargain. Flow of plants. Yeah. It's yours. Yeah, good. It's a great plant. Yeah. Oh, I guess thanks you all for tuning in. Glad you're here. Next week, tune in. With that.